The nanomachine network inside each unit member's body lets us share each other's senses. They can see what I see. And it helps control pain.
Is that part of the system, too?
With SOP, my team can literally operate as one. Well, except for a certain someone who's not much of a team player. So, what do you think? Is your age of heroes finally over?
I'm no hero. Never was. Never will be.
You haven't changed at all, Snake. But... your body... are you gonna be alright?
This getup doubles as a muscle suit. I can still get around.
Liquid's camp is up ahead. I'll mark it on your map.
Thanks.
Akiba! One man's blunder can compromise the whole team.
I'm sorry, Commander.
Be careful, Snake.
I know where Liquid is.
Yeah, I'm confirming the location. It's to the north of where you are. Meryl's really changed, hasn't she, Snake? She's a lot more self-assured.
I wonder how much of that has to do with the system. The senses you used to develop through extended training and experience can now be obtained without even working for them. Seems once you're under the system's control, you don't even need experience at all. It even beats that VR training that was all the rage a few years back.
Yeah. The growing need for PMCs has led to the creation of a more reliable, cost-effective supply of elite soldiers. It's also made the child soldier phenomenon more problematic than ever.
Can the nanomachines do anything to counteract post-traumatic stress disorder?
Good question. They might provide a degree of psychological stability.
You'd think so? That geek kid, Akiba, he was really starting to lose it.
And technologically, the system should be able to optimize each soldier's personality traits.
And that big guy, he didn't seem to be feeling any pain at all.
Augmenting the soldier's existing experience and psychological fortitude.
But a soldier's gotta have more than that.
The times have changed, Snake. Just like Meryl. Snake, hurry to the PMC camp. Based on what Meryl told us, Liquid should be there. Okay, time to head for the surface. Snake, start by going up to the surface. Look for a way out of the basement. I see you found yourself an operator uniform. As long as you're wearing it, you can do what you need to do and the militiamen won't suspect a thing. It'll be a useful tool in certain situations. But be careful. Hurt a fellow militiaman while wearing the uniform and you'll blow your cover. Got it? Hey, Snake. That emblem on Meryl's uniform, that's Foxhound, isn't it?
Yep.
I thought Meryl was with the 01 unit. I mean, I know she's attached to Foxhound and all, but still.
Covert Special Forces units do this kind of thing all the time. They use emblems that don't mean anything, like skulls and stuff.
Like disinformation?
Something like that.
I wonder if that's really all it is. Maybe she's still got some lingering attachment.
You think so?
I meant to Foxhound.
I knew that.
It's okay if Meryl wants to cling to the past. I just want her to be happy, that's all. Hey, Snake, since when did you learn how to use CQC?
I got the training back when I was in Foxhound, but I never used it in actual combat.
You had those skills all this time and never used them? Why?
The man who taught me was my former commander in Foxhound.
Big Boss?
Never felt right using a technique learned from a man who'd betrayed his unit. Thinking back, CQC as a concept was way ahead of its time. Nobody was using it yet. Not the Green Berets, or the SEALs, or the CIA paramilitaries.
And then earlier this year, the Pentagon declassifies Big Boss's file for some reason. All of a sudden, his story is the stuff of pop culture. Books, magazines, the net. And now people are taking another look at CQC.
The war criminal, reinvented as a hero.
Big Boss's exploits as a Cold War secret agent back in the 60s have made him a legend.
The less people know about the truth, the more they can fantasize.
Is that why you finally decided to use CQC? Because it's no longer just his anymore?
The CQC soldiers use nowadays is a pale imitation. They're learning from reading about it. I learned through doing, and there's a world of difference.
Then you want to teach them the real thing. The way you learned from your Big Boss.
That's not it either. Some things aren't meant to be passed down to future generations. When some guy comes at me using that cookie-cutter imitation of CQC, my body just reacts naturally, that's all.
Ah, I get it. An eye for an eye. Well, maybe not quite. I reckon they'd lose more than just an eye when going up against you. Snake, there are more differences between the militia and the PMCs than you may think. For one thing, the PMCs are flush with cash, so they usually have the latest gear.
Looks that way. Weapon systems, combat suits, tactical vests, communications equipment. All the latest toys.
On top of that, they're running on the SOP system, which keeps them in constant contact with each other during battle. The militia, on the other hand, are little more than amateurs. Most haven't even had basic combat training. And their equipment is nothing to brag about either. They're just barely scraping by.
Their weapons don't seem to be controlled by the system. The ones I've picked up work for me just fine.
Right. But the PMC's weapons won't. You can steal their guns, but they'll most likely be locked and unusable. Remember that. Snake, these enhanced soldiers seem to be using some sort of device to cling to the walls.
Doesn't look like they have spikes or suction cups.
This is only a guess, but I think their gloves and boots might have some mechanism that employs van der Waals force. It's a type of mutual interaction that occurs between two electrically neutral particles. Geckos use it to crawl up walls and across ceilings.
Oh, that kind of gecko. But those things are a hell of a lot lighter than a human.
Well, around 10 years ago, I read about an experiment where they reportedly suspended an object weighing 100 grams using a 5mm square piece of adhesive tape. Assuming the technology's advanced since then, I don't see why these guys couldn't be climbing all over the walls.
Otacon, what about Vamp? How he ran up that support pillar in the big shell? You think that's how he did it?
You mean, did he have this technology? He could have, yeah.
So it wasn't that he had some freak supernatural powers.
Hey, when technology starts to test the limits of our imagination, what's the difference?
It looks like the militia have got themselves an armored tank.
Yup. A BMP-3. It's an old Soviet-designed IFV. It's not quite up to MBT defensive standards, but it's got enough armor to protect it against medium-caliber machine gun rounds. The militia could use it as a barricade against PMC gunfire. Use it to your advantage to help you proceed without having to face the PMCs. Looks like they just took out a BMP-3.
It was one of those PMC tank busters. Nice piece of work.
I'll say. But now there's one less shield for you to use. Watch out for stray bullets. The enemy's not too discriminating.
They're not getting me on a cheap kill. I'll watch my back.
I owe you one. Thanks.
Liquid is in the PMC camp just up ahead. We need to get to him as fast as we can, but the fighting between the militia and the PMCs is really heating up. You know what to do. Use the battle conditions to your advantage, and proceed with caution.